something about the Open Eye Festival. The festival, I'll first tell you that I've tried to change the festival. So I try to tell you something about the context, why I want to change the festival, what the situation is in north of Amsterdam. And if you talk about impact, I'm trying to work on that, but I can't measure it yet because I'm still in the whole transition process of the festival. But I'll tell you more about it later. Our Eye Festival, it's a site-specific theatre festival. It exists already 23 years, and it takes place every summer in July. And the festival center is at the NDSM wharf. It's a former ship wharf in the north of Amsterdam. When I started working there about 10 years ago, and it was sort of empty area and nothing happening there. The former ship wharf got bankrupt about a few years before the festival started. And nowadays it's sort of getting the new center of Amsterdam. The north of Amsterdam is developing very fast, and so the whole area is changing. And nowadays, like, big events take place in this area, big commercial techno house events with thousands of people. And so we thought after a while we have to do something with our festival. We can't stay the same festival in this area, which isn't been like that, like the last 10 years. And so we've been working on that for the last 2 years. Actually, we already did, like, producing and presenting artistic work, but we decided to become more and more an artistic festival. Because in Amsterdam, I told yesterday that there were about 200 festivals. So there's no need for communities to meet on my festival. So I have to become a different sort of festival. And like, spread out over the city, even during the festival, my festival, I think there are about 7 community events spread out over the city. And the city is, of course, bigger than Stockton, for example. And but still, it's a small city with 1 million inhabitants. And so what we wanted to do, we wanted to have an artistic festival, but a very critical festival, presenting critical artistic works, reflecting on our city, our society, and the world we're living in. And we're doing that in the area where we work, but as well we're spreading out over the city on a much larger area. What we want people to explore the area, really being there instead of just visiting a festival and having a good time. We used to have, at the ship wharf, we used to have a festival center, one big festival center with a restaurant and a cafe and a bar, and everything was, people were there to meeting each other, and the most programming was around this center. And now we're just spreading out over, it's a large area, spreading out, and because the area has changed as well in there nowadays, I think there are about 7 bars and restaurants in this area. So it's impossible for me to add another restaurant to this area, where there is already so much to do, and so much to eat, and so much to taste. And so, okay, we're going to do it in a different way. And the audience really had to get used to it. So, because I'm asking a lot of them, they have to go and walk, and they have to find out things themselves. And some people really liked it, but I had some angry visitors as well. And we show, in this area, we mainly show work of young artists. Besides that, we have like the big performance program. It's different if you compare it to Stockton, where like the whole festival is sort of free of entrance. The Dutch system is like you have to have an income out of ticket sales. So I have to sell tickets, otherwise I'm losing my funding. So I have to do something with that. And that results, actually last year we sort of had high educated inner city visitors. And there are a lot of people like that in Amsterdam, because Amsterdam is like a magnet to this kind of people. But we were looking as well, like how can we connect to the neighborhoods, not far away from our festival center. How do you connect to them, and not just like showing a performance there, before, like the higher educated people, bringing them in, but how can we do it in a different way? So we're still looking for that. Or we ask people to explore the city, to take their bike or take a ferry and go to different parts and to find out new parts of the city and to look at it in a different way. What we did as well, like we wanted to, especially on the NDSM where many commercial companies moved in as well, 150 artists are working there in this area. So it's like a combination of cultural activities and commercial activities that's changing. It's getting more and more commercial as well. And so we invited all the users of the whole area for an open design session, telling them, okay, we're here already for 23 years old, but already for 23 years, but what should we do with the festival? We're not sure what to do. And they really liked it, and they really joined in. In the end, we created like this new center. We did the artistic program, but all the things besides, we created together with the people working in this area. But in the end, we ended up with about 35 people working together, and they were all artists, or people of commercial companies, or people running a bar. And it was very difficult to find out, and we have to evaluate it really. Really good. We're going to do it. It has been in July, so we're going to start in September with these evaluations. And so that's the way we want to work. And it was very nice because people react very positive, and they really they did understand what we wanted, and they said, we really like it to work, to collaborate with you instead of having like a big festival who's just moving into the area for 2 days, like having like thousands of people walking around there, drinking, dancing, everything, and then they're gone again. They have no connection at all. And so this works very well. Yeah, about 50% of the performances are produced by the festival. We collaborate a lot with emerging artists. And yeah, so that's another thing we want to keep like this. We're very important for the graduates of art schools, and OVI has been the last years has been a place where young artists can develop working site specific. And we mainly put these shows in the area near the festival center. Yeah, we choose the performances about important things which are happening now about the city we live in. Asking questions. We really want to be a critical festival. What we've done as well, actually this year for the first time, which is a much longer project, it's going to be here now for half a year, and we're trying to find budget to make it a longer period. And we invite 4 different artists to move into neighborhoods for half a year and to find out what they can cause as an artist. And it's very open tasks they get. And we did it because we've been doing like neighborhood projects before, and then you see artists going there and then doing their performance, ending up showing a performance to a high educated audience from the center of the city. And they just look, it's like going to a zoo or something. And that feels not very uncomfortable for me. So I think we really want to connect to them. And what interests me, during the festival, we invited the audience from the higher education, from the inner city, to join in and have a look at the neighborhood and ask the artists to tell something about the work they are doing. And it's going to be a longer project, so I'm just curious what will happen. We did as well a program about the city of tomorrow, about the connection between art and society, between artists and citizens. What can artists cause and what can they change? There will be we will doing this project for the whole year together with like the local debate center, because you're really looking for this discussion like what can art do for society, and it works very well. Yeah, we support many young artists. This was a project we did last year with a group of Moroccan young artists from Casablanca and some local young artists from Amsterdam, and we produced it ourselves. And we really want to develop this site-specific work, real connection to the site itself. So we don't, well, sometimes do, but sometimes impossible not to do, but we try to create or to adapt a performance to the site, so it really has some belongings to it. I think a good example, you told me about the Michiel Food performance you had, about the illegal person, and this was a production of our festival together with Orkater, and actually this show was given at the site where this person used to live. So it's like really on this site. So that's, we're going quite far in working site specific. What we do as well, through the year we create projects in different parts of the city. This year we did this project Sketch, which was a huge, I don't know what for this, if you wrap some paper, if you draw something, you say that it's nothing, you just throw it away. So it was a huge wrap of paper. And we put it on different sites, parts of the city, which are changing. The north of Amsterdam, could you tell something about that? The north of Amsterdam is really an area which is really changing. Used to be very lower class, a lot of social problems, and but parts of it becoming like the new center of Amsterdam. So a lot of new people move in, gentrification is happening there, the poor people move out, so all these neighborhoods in sort of transition. So you have like new, very poor neighborhoods starting to grow, and you have like neighborhoods with high educated people moving in. And so we really were curious, like, what should we do with these areas? What will be the city of the future, this Amsterdam North of the future? And this piece of paper was very interesting. People, they were drawers, and they were asking people, do you have suggestions for your own city? And they make beautiful pictures of it, and they put it inside the piece of paper. So it became like one big exhibition of ideas for the city. And we're going to show it on several places afterwards. And we went to 3 different spots with this. It's a very interesting project. We have every year 30,000 visitors, sell 20,000 tickets, and we have about 35 different projects. And most of the projects we show for the 11 days we're in. And so we have every day like 1 or 2 performances. But the budget is about 1 million a year, and 600,000 goes really direct to programming and technical equipment and logistics of the festival. And 1/3 is public funding, 1/3 is private funds. And not all European countries, but the Netherlands is a quite big system of private funding. And 1/3 is sponsoring tickets, sales of partners. And partners joining in now, after we started doing like these open design sessions, we got more income because partners are just really joining in financially as well, which is an interesting thing.
What kind of partners did you say?
Yeah, the partners, we're doing like these open design sessions. And for example, the local bars in the area say, okay, I give you some extra money to be able to organize the festival. So that's the way it works. And for us nowadays, it's like, for example, the project we do in the neighborhoods, it's very interesting to measure the impact. And for now, it's difficult for me to do because we just start doing it. And what we do now, we really want to evaluate like the open design, the collaboration with the partners. What we did before, when we make all the plans for this, we did a session with a potential audience. I just told shortly about it. We invite 30 potential audience people just from different ages, from different backgrounds, and just tell something about the festival and the ideas of the festival. And then after this discussion, we change something in the setup of the festival, so it works. So I think it's very, I really like the personal way of organizing the festival. Yes.
How much are your tickets?
How much? This year we sold bracelets for like the small projects within the festival area, and I think they were 14 euro, and then you can see like all the small performances over the whole evening or the day, and the tickets depends on the size of the performance. So it's between 8 euro and I think the most expensive was 23 euro, but then you really see a big performance.